guys, so I want to do my long-term review of the IsoTunes Pro's noise isolating Bluetooth headphones. So first of all, to make it clear, IsoTunes did send these out to me in April of 2017. I've been using them every day in my lawn care business. It is currently now November 2017 at the end of the lawn mowing season. So for 7 months, I've been using these every day in my business. So I just wanted to go over some of the features. I did initially an unboxing video of these headphones as well as the regular IsoTunes that they sent me out in April. I'll put a link in the description for that video if you guys want to see all the details of what comes with the two different types of headphones and the features that are different between them. But we'll just briefly go over some of the specs of what these headphones are capable of. So before we go over some of the specs, I want to briefly talk about the noise isolation. Now these are obviously the IsoTunes. The ISO stands for isolation. So how these work is that they don't have active noise cancellation as far as you, the listener, goes. They rely on passive noise isolation. So what this means is, if you can see here, they've got the standard sort of memory foam tip that you squish. These are exactly the same as the standard little foam earplugs that you would see, where you squish them and you stick them in your ear and they slowly expand, and that effectively blocks the ear canal and blocks noise from coming in. So you still will hear some noise. It's not like it's completely silent when you put them on. So you'll still hear your mowers. It's just not as loud as obviously not wearing your standard earplugs. So that's how they block out the sound. And then at the same time, if you're listening to music or podcasts or what have you, they're obviously piping in that sound directly into your ear canal to make it easy for you to hear. Now, they do feature an active noise cancellation here in the microphone section, but that is strictly for the benefit of a caller if you're on the phone. So the person listening to you or on the phone with you would benefit from some noise, active noise cancellation. So effectively, it tries to minimize the surrounding noise when you're talking on the phone and concentrate strictly on your voice so that your caller can hear you clearly. But again, just to I reiterate, when you're wearing these as the listener, it's relying basically, it's the same as wearing standard earplugs as far as the noise cancellation goes. So now that we got that sort of clear, let's go over some of the specs. So as far as that noise isolation goes, they feature a 27 decibel noise reduction rating, and these meet OSHA and NOSH standards. So they're perfect for any sort of workplace environment where you require wearing earplugs. They also feature a 10-hour battery life. This is by and far one of the best features, of course, when you're working in the lawn care or landscaping industry, because these will effectively last the whole day. There's no worries about the battery going flat partway through the day. And for me, I found that they've worked flawlessly in that sense. I usually will put them on in the morning, take them off the charger in the morning, and then I'll go out and mow all day long, and then come home, pop them on the charger, and they're ready for the next day. And that's what I've been doing for the past 7 months with them. And again, they've performed flawlessly in that regard. So they got this comfort fit band. It's just a little piece of wire here that comes off the headphone. You squish your foam in there, you put them in your ear, and you just bend them around your ear and they give you a custom fit. Now you can see here that they're pretty quick to put on and to take off. You just pull them off. If I want to put them back on, I just squish that foam again, put them in my ear canal, curl them over, and done. So if you watched my unboxing video that I did when I initially got these back in April, I had some trouble with these. trying to put them on and fit them on, and you're trying to figure it out. I'll put a link in the description if you want to see that video, see the unboxing of the IsoTunes Pro as well as the regular IsoTunes. But I just wanted to sort of mention that because I sort of struggled with that in that initial video, and now as you can see, it's super easy after using them. Even after a couple weeks, you get so used to using them that you can do it one-handed. It's very simple to put on and off. One of my favorite features, especially living here on the West Coast, or the wet coast, as many of you guys would know, is that these have a waterproof and sweat-proof rating of IPX4. So I can be out in the rain mowing, and there's no worries about these getting destroyed in the rain. Especially, obviously, if they're being used and they're in my ear canal, then there's really nowhere for the rain to get in. The only exposed part would be this little charge port here, the USB charge port, but it's got a little rubber flap that goes over it to close and keep it protected from being wet. And of course, the only other area would be the actual ear or earphone hole where the sound comes out of. But if it's in your ear, then that's not an issue either. So just a fantastic feature for them to be waterproof. So is there anything that you should think about prior to purchasing a set of these IsoTunes Pro headphones? Well, there's a couple of things. These memory foam tips do wear out over time, and what that does is affect its ability to block out that outside sound, and then that makes it harder to listen to what you're trying to stream, whether it's podcasts or music and stuff. So I got 6 months out of the the original set that came with the headphones. Like I said, it came with a small, medium, large. I think I used the mediums originally on it, and they lasted about 6 months before it became annoying enough that it just seemed like I couldn't hear what I was trying to listen to. And I just went and switched them out with the large earbuds that had come with it, which also fit me. So I put those on, and then it was working fantastically again, blocking out that outside noise. So just keep in mind that the tips do wear out, but you can buy more online through IsoTunes. Now, the other thing to keep in mind, and I've gotten this sort of feedback from a lot of you guys that listen to my podcast and asked me about it, was that the internal volume on these headphones for listening to music or podcasts is set to a certain level only, and a lot of you guys have complained that it's very low, that you can't hear certain things that you're listening to. Now, obviously, these are hearing protection, so there's really sort of defeats the purpose if you're going to put something in your ear to protect your hearing and then be blasting music at the same time. So the IsoTunes aren't the only ones that do this. I also have the over-the-ear Ion Tough Sounds Bluetooth headphones. I'll put a link in the description to those if you want to check those out as well. But they also have a limited volume range. Now, obviously, because this is hearing protection, they're not going to be like standard headphones where you can crank them, super loud. They're meant to, protect your hearing. So you're going to find that. So depending on the machines or equipment that you're using, you may experience troubles. For example, if I'm mowing a lawn with my 21-inch Honda mower, I have no issues with these. I can hear everything clearly, and they block out the sound perfectly. Once I got sort of mid-season and I picked up that 36-inch turf tracer with a 15 horsepower Kawasaki, I then started to experience what a lot of you guys were complaining about with it, becoming harder to listen to. Now, part of this was probably because, halfway through this season, about 3 or 4 months in, those tips were starting to wear out and weren't effectively blocking out as much noise, but also that limited volume range. And with the motor being bigger and higher up on the Turf Tracer versus the Honda, push mower style motor, smaller engine down below, I started to see that, yes, it is harder to hear certain things depending on the amount of outside noise. So just something to keep in the back of your head. So what are my final thoughts on these? Well, again, this is a product I would absolutely recommend to anybody who's in the lawn care or landscaping industry. Like I said, the waterproof, the battery rating, the noise reduction rating, They've worked flawlessly for me as far as the Bluetooth connectivity goes, using these every day for the past 7 months. And then their comfort. They're just so comfortable to wear. That memory wire that wraps around your ear, prevents them from popping out. With standard sort of earbud headphones like the Apple ones and stuff like that, I can never get those to stay in my ears. So these are fantastic because that memory wire just holds them in place. You're working, you're shaking around, and they just never fall off until you pull them out. So that is fantastic. The other advantage that I found about these, again, like I said, over the ear style, is that on hot sunny days you don't get that sweat buildup around your ears that becomes so uncomfortable. That these, because they're just in your ear canal and just sitting around, they're just so much more comfortable to wear on a day-to-day basis. The other nice thing is if you're wearing, a wide-brimmed sun hat, if you're in a really hot area, Texas, Arizona, that sort of stuff, you're wearing a really, big brimmed hat to block out the sun, you can't use your regular over the your head style hearing protection with the band that goes over your head, where these are fantastic because they don't impede you wearing a large brimmed sun hat. I would absolutely recommend them to anybody looking for a quality set of Bluetooth headphones for your lawn care or landscaping business. All right, guys, that's it for this one. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll check you out in the next one. All right, talk to you later.